The dust has finally settled after the incredible mask versus mask match between El Grande Americano and the original El Grande Americano. After months of speculation, mystery, and fan theories, the truth was finally revealed as Chad Gable was unmasked and confirmed to be the original El Grande Americano. The match itself has already been called by many fans as good as wrestling can get. It had everything you could want from professional wrestling. Great in-ring action, drama, emotion, storytelling, surprises, and most importantly, a crowd that was completely invested from beginning to end. What really stood out to me was the reaction after the match. Both men received tremendous respect from the audience, which is usually the sign that fans know they just witnessed something special. Now that the story has reached its conclusion, the biggest question becomes what is next for both wrestlers. Let's start with Chad Gable because his future may be one of the most interesting stories in wrestling right now. Has this entire El Grande Americano journey elevated him beyond where he was before? For years, Chad Gable has been one of the most talented performers in WWE. Yet fans have constantly felt like he was stuck in that frustrating middle ground. He would get momentum, have a great feud, put on incredible matches, and then somehow find himself right back in the middle of the card again. It's what many fans call mid-card purgatory. Too talented to ignore, but never quite receiving that final push. The most logical destination for Gable would be finally capturing the Intercontinental Championship. After all, this entire journey revolved around him becoming a better wrestler. He embraced the lucha libre lifestyle, learned new techniques, adapted a completely different style, and reinvented himself. It would make perfect storyline sense for him to return to WWE as a more complete competitor and finally achieve the goal that has escaped him for years.
But wait! There's more!
But honestly, I think we should start aiming higher. Why stop at the Intercontinental Championship? What if Chad Gable is finally ready to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship? That may sound crazy to some people, but look at the story WWE has accidentally created here. This is a wrestler who traveled away from WWE, immersed himself in a different culture, mastered a new wrestling style, and returned as a bigger star than when he left. That's the type of underdog story that fans naturally connect with. Wrestling history is filled with examples of performers who become world champions because audiences simply refuse to stop supporting them. Of course, there is also the fear that WWE does what WWE has done before. They simply place Gable right back where he was before all of this started. He gets a few good matches, maybe a couple of entertaining promos, and then slowly drifts back into the middle of the card. If that happens, it would feel like a huge missed opportunity. Wrestling doesn't always create stars by design. Sometimes stars are created organically through fan support, and Chad Gable currently has more momentum than he has had in years. WWE needs to capitalize on this while they still can. Now, let's talk about the man who inherited the mask, and remember, we are definitely not talking about Ludwig Kaiser. Please keep your voice down because according to some rumors, El Grande Americano may not actually be Mexican. But jokes aside, what has happened with Kaiser over the last several months has been one of the most surprising success stories in wrestling. What is fascinating is that none of this was actually supposed to happen. Chad Gable's legitimate injury forced plans to change. Suddenly, WWE and AAA needed someone to step into the role that had become incredibly important to the storyline. I'm not sure if it was at the time, but okay. At the time, Ludwig Kaiser wasn't involved in any major storylines. He wasn't receiving significant television time and wasn't exactly viewed as a future main event player. Then wrestling did what wrestling does best. It created an opportunity when nobody expected one. Kaiser was handed the mask and, to his credit, completely ran with it. Initially, El Grande Americano was presented as a heel character. Fans were supposed to boo him. Fans were supposed to reject him, but something unexpected happened along the way. People started appreciating the performance. Then they started respecting the effort. Then they started loving the matches. Before anyone realized it, the character has transformed into one of the biggest baby faces in AAA. That's not something you can force. That's not something creative teams can simply write into existence. Fans have to choose it themselves, and that's exactly what happened. Perhaps the most impressive part of the entire story is how Mexican wrestling fans embraced him. That audience can be incredibly passionate and protective of lucha libre traditions. Yet Kaiser earned their respect through his performances. Match after match, he proved that he wasn't just wearing a mask as part of a storyline, he was fully committed to the character and to representing the lucha libre style. That authenticity connected with the fans in a major way. So, what should be next for El Grande Americano? To me, the answer seems obvious. The AAA Mega Championship should be the next target. The momentum is there, the fan support is there, the story is there. Everything feels like it's building towards the moment where El Grande Americano stands in the middle of the ring holding AAA's most prestigious championship. If the goal is to create a true AAA icon, winning the Mega Championship feels like the next natural step. But just like with Chad Gable, maybe we're not thinking big enough. Could El Grande Americano eventually win a major championship in the WWE, the United States Championship, an Intercontinental Championship, maybe even something bigger down the road? A year ago, that idea would have sounded ridiculous. Today, it doesn't sound ridiculous at all. That's how successful this character has become. That's how much Ludwig Kaiser has grown as a performer during this entire run. I said it in my very first El Grande Americano video, and I'll say it again today. The sky is the limit for this character. What started as a fun wrestling concept turned into one of the best stories of the year. What began as a backup plan due to injury ended up creating an entirely new star. Those moments don't happen very often in professional wrestling, which is why companies need to recognize them when they do. As for the future of both Chad Gable and El Grande Americano, I honestly don't think there are any bad options right now. The important thing is that both men are leaving the story far bigger stars than they were when it began. And perhaps the most exciting part of this all is that it still feels like there is more story left to tell. For now, I think The Undertaker still has a little more cooking left to do with these two wrestlers. If this first chapter taught us anything, it is that nobody truly knows where the story is heading next. And honestly, that is what makes it so exciting. Wrestling is at its best when fans can't predict what comes next. And right now, both Chad Gable and El Grande Americano have futures that feel completely wide open. That's a very good problem to have.